Hey, this is John Carlos, here with a look at the Batman and Robin 2-pack from Mattel's Batman, the classic TV series action figure line. Now, the interesting thing about this 2-pack is that it's the only way you can get Robin. Robin is not sold as an individual figure. Before I take the figures out, here's a quick look at the Cityscape packaging. There are quite a few problems with this 2-pack. One of the first ones is that the capes are secured to the packaging by those little plastic tags used for price tags on clothes. It's kind of hard to see here, but there's a little hole in the cape. It's more noticeable on the Robin cape. It creates two holes in the cape material right there. So I personally just don't like having holes in my capes. Also, you're going to have to cut off those obnoxious tags. Another problem is that the way that these figures are packaged in the box has caused their legs to warp a little bit. Robin's leg isn't straight like it should be. It kind of swoops to the side. Same thing with Batman's left leg over here. It does not go down straight. It has a little bend to it. In the 60s, when they filmed Batman and Robin walking up the side of a building, they had little wires in their cape that kept them up since they were walking on ground level to create the effect that they were walking up the side of a building. This kind of works on Robin, doesn't totally work on Batman. See, even though they put wires in the sides of the cape to presumably keep them up, if it's not tight at the neck, if it's not supported at the base of the cape at the neck, it's just going to flop down, which is the case with Batman, so that's kind of a weak spot. Now another problem I have is putting the feet on the pegs here. Because what would be ideal is a calf or ankle swivel. As it stands, to get Batman's back leg on, sort of, I have to swivel him at the thigh. But what would be nice is like a swivel at the ankle. As you can see with Robin, there's no ideal way to get his foot on there. If either ankle had a swivel, or either calf had a swivel, like a cut in it where I could pivot it, instead I have to pivot it at the thigh, which gets a little awkward as far as how his legs go. So here's how they look walking up the building horizontally, and here's how they look going up vertically. Here it is all hung up, and it is pretty cool that it includes windows that actually open. Now, I don't plan on displaying my figures by mounting them against a wall. I wish that they'd included some sort of base that this just snapped into that supported it in this position. I presume a lot of collectors display their stuff on tabletops and shelves and desktops, and not including a base of that kind, I think, is a giant mistake on Mattel's part. Another little mistake is this. I think it's great that they included the Batarang. Presumably, Batman would be climbing the roof by using the Batarang, and it comes with this little hole with no string included. The only thing that is included is this ghetto paper twine that's so thick that it doesn't even fit inside the Batarang. I think this paper twine is a joke, and I'd rather they just included nothing at all, or at least a decent string that fit the Batarang. Despite the fact that his left leg bends inward, there's still a lot of fun things about this figure I like. There are ankle hinges, knee hinges, elbow hinges, hinges at the shoulder, but what I was surprised by was that there's a hinge in the middle of his torso, and his legs have like a side hinge aside from swinging forward, and I think that side hinge was a nice touch. I also think that this is a pretty good likeness of Adam West. I think as far as Mattel and what their work is, this is an awesome Adam West likeness. Now, the Burt Ward Robin likeness isn't as strong, but it's still pretty cool. And there are a lot of fun things to like about this figure. He's got the same like joints and cuts in him as the Batman figure, including my problem with the ankles not being able to like swivel at all. I think that's a giant mistake. But one thing that they got really right, his legs are a different color than his arms and face. That's because he was wearing tights. And I think that's incredibly accurate detail to the show, and I really applaud Mattel for going that little extra step for doing the different paint tone on the legs. Here's a look at Batman and Robin inside the Batmobile. And I gotta say, they look pretty cool in it. Now, one little thing that I really appreciate is that the figure's hands actually fit on the steering wheel. I didn't think they actually would, but I don't know if it was good planning ahead or just coincidence, but I'm glad that worked out. I saw like an interview on MattyCollector.com where they were doing a Q&A and someone asked, why are the figures coming with cloth capes, why don't they come with plastic sculpted capes? And they said so they can fit inside the Batmobile. I think they should have come with two capes. A cloth cape so you can fit them in the Batmobile better, and then a sculpted cape that matches the paint and texture of the figure. In fact, the sculpted cape could have been sculpted like that, so that walking horizontally against this base would have looked cooler. Now, despite my complaining about the capes, and the little Batarang that doesn't even come with a string, or this ghetto twine that they got like at a thrift shop, or the kind of lack of thought that went into this base, I still really like these figures, and I'll tell you why. Adam West, Burt Ward, Batman and Robin from the 60s. It's awesome having action figures of these guys. And even though some of the stuff that they come with isn't great, they are great standalone figures that look really cool, and for that alone, I can say that these are worthwhile and I do recommend them. Thanks for watching.